Let's see. I don't know if it's gonna break it up, but we back. We back on the air. Hopefully it
All
didn't.
right, we back.
Yeah, we should be back. Hit one if y'all hear it's funny. Hopefully it didn't break us up into two different joints. I don't know why it's saying. Why do I got a red joint? Okay. All right, it's green again. All right. All right, we should be good. Should
All
be.
right, wow. See, y'all see what happens? Y'all see what happens?
Okay, we good. We good. We're back. Yeah.
Hey, you can't spit them facts. You can't spit them facts and know that everything I said actually came from homosexuals. Like they said these things in the book. Like they tell you what it is. A lot of times we people be like, oh, knowledge is this knowledge hidden and things like that. No, a lot of times it's not. It's a lot of times it's right there. You just have to look for it. Or you have to be open to like really getting into it. You feel me? And a
Mhm.
lot of people don't want to get into it. They're like, oh, I don't want to deal with that. And I just want to say for people who feel like that, I mean, that's fine. But just because you don't deal with something doesn't stop it from existing and doesn't stop it from impacting you. And people say, well, that doesn't impact my life. Well, if you have a child that's in the public school system, then yes, it does impact your life.
Right.
One of the reasons why same-sex marriage, see, and this is understand this, they never do anything for no reason. It's a reason behind it. It's an agenda behind it. Ultimately, it's not. Please understand these people, and I mean white people in general, white supremacy in general, and this movement, of course, is very nefarious. Okay, understand that they can try to make something look so innocent and sugary sweet. And honey, no, it's not. Okay? They got their whole plan, their whole setup, everything ready for that. So, with the same sex marriage, what happens is, or what happened is, once it became federalized and, this is legalized across the country, people talk about states' rights. Yeah, all right, but you can't get higher federal rights. And just like the woman, I think in Mississippi, whatever, they were able to lock her up for not marrying homosexual people. It didn't have to be legalized in Mississippi. It's legalized across the board. Uh, and I can remember years ago, people was arguing with me, arguing me down left and right. That's not gonna become legal. That ain't gonna be. They would never happen. That would never pass in America. People was telling me, oh, this state and that state, they would never come again, come again. Honey, the Supreme Court, the Supreme Court, the highest court in the nation, is okay. Now what? So what happens is that becomes mandated basically to be taught in the public school system and to be taught as being equivalent or the same thing as mommy and daddy, as man and woman. And this is starting with kindergartners. So now the term diversity, which once meant in the school system racial diversity, has now been injected with this whole rainbow thing. So that's a part of diversity. So when they have diversity teaching at school, that's one of the main things that they focus on is the LGBT community. So you have babies, you have kindergartners, first, second, third graders learning about L, lesbian, G, gay, B, bisexuals, T, transgender. Why are they learning about that? Why does a baby in the second grade need to know what a transgender is? Explain that to me. Why?
That's
Why
fact.
is that important? These children don't have anything established to them in the public school system about their blackness, about their history, about where they come from, about none of that. But they gonna know about a damn transgender, a man who's supposed to be saying they a woman. Really? And then now they're letting the little children who are 3, 4, 5, 6 decide their gender? How the hell do you decide your gender when people won't even let their children decide what they gonna wear to school the next day? Because they gonna pick some crazy stuff to wear to school. But a child is qualified to choose their gender. Their gender's been chosen. It's what they were born as. And so then they inflate these other or bring these other things in, right? Like this intersex and all that. Understand, there is no such thing as a hermaphrodite. People don't understand this, but these are games that the homosexual community has played and thrown out there. And so people think they know what that is. No, a hermaphrodite means you have 2 complete sets of reproductive organs. No human being has 2 complete sets of reproductive organs. What happens is it's called intersex, where the particular sex of the baby is not able to be determined at birth. So typically what doctors do is they encourage the parents to wait until puberty, because once puberty happens, that's when their true gender can be fully defined, okay, based upon how they go through puberty. If they begin to get a cycle, you're not going to have, excuse my, I'm not gross nobody out, but you're not going to have a full penis and have a menstrual cycle. That's not what happens, okay? So people don't know this. And this is why a lot of these people don't want to debate me and stuff like on these things, because honey, you can't get around it. You can't get around me because I'm coming with nothing but facts. So when they come, oh, well, some people are born in both. No. Their gender was unable to be determined at birth, but they have a gender. They have a specific gender. Nobody has 2 complete sets of reproductive organs. You don't have the sperm with the penis and have eggs. You don't. So people have to wait to see how that develops. So you got all of this stuff being thrown in the mix. And let's also be clear that intersex people are literally 1%, if that, barely 1% of the population. That means that 99% of the population are clearly known to be male or female at birth. And even the intersex people are either male or female, not both. It just takes a longer period of time to know exactly, because they may carry characteristics of both. All right. So I just wanted to cover some of the bases of what is out there to deflect the conversation or to try to take away from things that I may have said. And it's just like, Black folk, I don't know what else to say about this. I've been speaking about it for years. At a point, I had to fall back because it was literally getting dangerous for me because of how I'm speaking and what I was bringing out and things like that. And it's very dangerous. Understand, this is deeper than y'all think it is. It's deeper. It's way deeper. And understand that a homosexual Black man, and see, this is why it's so important, especially to the male, because a homosexual Black male is much more easily controlled. Okay? He's less intimidating. He's less threatening. He's seen as docile. Understand that when you see,
not to mention most gay people love white people. That's
absolutely. And and being a homosexual in and of itself is an acceptance of white sex. It's an acceptance of whiteness, because that's where you see that behavior promoted. Now, people will say, "Oh, you trying to say they didn't have sex, homosexuality in Africa?" I didn't say that, and I would never say that. Of course, there was, but here's the difference. In Africa and African societies, homosexuality was never supported. It was never recognized or never upheld in society. It was not. When you look at how many white civilizations and societies can we point to where homosexuality was upheld, it was encouraged, it was accepted, it was supported? That's the difference. Just like you can have murder in any society, that doesn't mean the society supports murder. That's the difference. That's the games people try to play again. But when you look at European society, they support homosexuality. There's a distinct and clear difference between the two.
Facts.
You have places like Uganda to this day, they don't uphold that.
Nope.
They don't rock with that. And that's part of their culture. We ain't rocking with that. Period.
We the last.
But that's looked down upon. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, I'm about to say we like the last ethnic group to push back on it. But yet they would try to convince you that we're the most homosexual group out there. And it's like,
That's
how can we be the most homophobic and the most homosexual group out there? That don't even make sense. Like
I'm telling you.
It gotta be one or the other. Because I don't believe that we're the most homosexual group out here, because again, I don't know. I overtly gay people, I'm talking about like overtly gay people. I see them occasionally. I don't see them to the degree of like I just don't see them on a regular basis. I can go weeks without seeing one that's overtly gay. Now, mind you, I probably seen some gay people that was undercover and I just didn't know. I'm talking about the overtly flamed out, openly gay dude. Like I can go weeks, maybe even months without seeing them, like the overtly gay people. So like, but the way you let them call it, everybody's gay in the black community. All the black men are gay. Like it's this whole black men is gay narrative. It's kind of sickening. It's like yes, they are gay black men, and it disgusts me to no end. But to try to push this narrative that like half or even close to half of black men are gay is ridiculous. Right. Like we are still talking about a minority within the minority, but they would try to spin this like this is the norm. Like black men are just all just gay, like just gay, like you're gay. Black men are gay and just gay. Like what is this association about? What is this fascination with everybody? It's almost like everybody wants black men to be gay. It's almost like they pushing this narrative that they want you to be gay. It's like in their own little sick mind, they want all black men to be gay, so they just keep screaming this bullshit about all black men being gay. But last time I checked, we was all dogs. And we all cheated on all our girlfriends, but I guess we cheating on them with guys. I guess I don't know, because like we're all dogs. We cheat on all our girlfriends. Next minute we're gay. Then next minute we're homophobic, and then we're this, and then we're that. Like well, what the fuck are we? Like I'm confused. Like y'all motherfuckers are confusing me. I'm like, can y'all get y'all narratives together? Y'all stereotypes. Can y'all need to huddle up, get y'all stereotypes together, and figure that shit out? Because these shits ain't lining up. It can't be all these things all at once. Like this is why this is why generalizing and trying to say all black men is this, or even most black men are that, or whatever the case may be, you're gonna end up sounding crazy at the end of the day, because we are diverse motherfuckers. Yeah, you got some sick motherfuckers out here who fall into this bullshit ass nasty European lifestyle. And again, it disgusts me to no end. It's more than I would like to motherfucking admit. But to push this narrative that is as many as motherfuckers is trying to insinuate is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. The numbers ain't even half as big as you motherfuckers try to portray. Y'all got to stop it.
But see, I think what you're saying is true, especially for a time period. But I think that now, that's changing a lot. And I think that is changing for multiple reasons. One of it is propaganda. Like you said, they do want all black men to be homosexual. So this type of propaganda for a good bit now. Another way that this is becoming more prevalent, and I'm not trying to say this about anybody, just all people who've been in this particular situation or anything like that. I'm not saying that. Well, one of the reasons, in my opinion, in my study, and my critical analysis and thinking, is that one of the reasons is because of the uh, mass incarceration of Black men, Black people, but particularly Black men. So you have to create an unnatural circumstance to get unnatural behavior. Okay, so that's not to say all Black men who go in prison or who do any type of prison biz or whatever become homosexual. No, by no means am I saying that. However, when you create unnatural environments where men are around nothing but other men, years and some for years and years on end, let's understand that Black men are given longer, harsher sentences in the prison system for the very same crimes that other races of white men or other races of men commit. Okay, so they have mandatory minimum sentencing that they love in very young men. So you end up in scenarios where you may have young Black men after sexual crime and things of that nature who are placed in prison, 10, 15, 20-year prison sentence. Okay, now what happens is that's not everybody doesn't become homosexual or participate. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is the likelihood of Black men participating in those activities goes through the roof, because in normalized society, they wouldn't be typically, participate in those things. But when you're in an unnatural circumstances, your behavior becomes unnatural. So this is not an attack on, it's plenty of brothers who do not fall into those categories. But let's be real. You see a huge jump in mass incarceration in the Black community, all right? Them throwing Black men under the prison, oftentimes for nonviolent drug offenses. You're gonna see certain things happen. And then they can't wait to lock you back up. So even if you get out or you get on parole or whatever the case may be, they can't wait to throw you right back in the prison. And they know certain things to look for. So like a lot of times, being in prison is going to change people's mind, right? It's going to affect your mental state to a degree, because again, you're in an unnatural environment. All right, so they create these unnatural environments in which to place Black people in, and that helps to precipitate certain behaviors. It doesn't have to be everybody doing it, but it can be a small percentage of people doing it, which then can go on to affect a larger percentage of people in a multitude of ways. You have, people always point to Atlanta, and they point to like DC and things of that nature of like the large amounts of homosexual Black men and Black people. The women, let's talk about the lesbians too. But let me just finish this thought on this. Also, I think the other unnatural state that's being created is because Black men have not been allowed to be men. Black men have been, as Nellie Fuller says, our great elder, as he said, a Black man in America has two choices, or a Black male rather, in America has two choices: to be a Black boy or be a Black woman. All right. So you're not really given the opportunity or chance to really be a true, fully actualized man, because at every turn you are pigeonholed. So I think what some Black males have done, and perhaps even some Black mothers or what have you have encouraged, is a somewhat of an effeminizing of the Black man so that he has a better chance for survival. Homosexual Black men are the demographic who is closest on par with white male income. They are the closest ones, homosexual Black men. So you have a better chance actually at getting a job. You have a better chance at making more money. You have a better chance at getting more of a promotion. You have a better chance even at surviving. You look at a lot of the police situations, they don't mess as much with no homosexual Black male, because that's already seen as you're docile, you're weak, you're not less threatening and intimidating to us anyway. It is the heterosexual, strong Black male that is the target. So I think you have a multitude, and it's not just one thing. I also think that there now has become a chemical element to it. That's my personal opinion on this. Just as things can be played around to affect the hormones and stuff like the soy and all of those types of things, I think that there's an element to that. I mean, let's remember, these are the people who created HIV and Ebola and things like that. Let's understand this is not far-fetched for them to create things to quell the population of Black people or to try to effeminize the Black man. That is a major, major target. If you go back to the unnatural circumstances of enslavement, when they would have Black men, and to make a point to other Black males, they would publicly sodomize them. Or they would take Black boys and put them on sex farms, or the Black boys would have to dress up in the women's attire, and they would do things like serve tea and coffee to white men and then participate in sexual, or be raped, let me not say participate, and sexually by white men. So there's a whole history of trying to make Black men homosexual. Okay, not to mention that I think the DL thing was majorly magnified too. That was another attempt to push propaganda that Black men are homosexual. You also have with the HIV situation. It is now the case. These are straight up facts that 50% half of all homosexual Black males will have HIV in their lifetime. Let me say that again. Half. If you are a homosexual Black man, you have a 50-50 chance of having HIV. Okay? These things are not by accident. These things are by design. So I think we have to broaden our understanding of what's happening, and that this is not organic. All of these homosexual people we see now, lesbians, transgender, and all of this stuff, how is this natural? Why is it that now these numbers go through the roof, but if you go back 50 years ago, these numbers weren't like that? And mind you, people are telling you that you can't help who you are, right? You can't help who you love, right? You're born this way. So if you're born this way, how come those people back in the day could suppress their sexual desires? If you're saying that as many people are LGBT now have always been, how did all them people suppress that all that time? You have to explain that. You can explain it because the numbers have increased. And it's also well documented that when something becomes legalized in the society, there's an uptick in it. There's an increase. When it becomes a social norm, you see an increase of certain behaviors that become social norms. And this has become a social norm. And people say, nobody can make me gay and this and that. It's not about that. But it's about the multitude of ways that they're using as an attack on Black people, and even more specifically, Black male heterosexuality and Black masculinity. And the last thing I'm gonna say, I'm gonna pass the mic. Please do your research. Like I said, look up everything I say. Please look up the Jaffe memo. This is something I've talked about now for years. This is a memo from 1969, okay? This was a memo from Frederick Jaffe, who was the vice president of Planned Parenthood. We all know that Planned Parenthood was created to do what? It was to exterminate Black people, essentially, right? And then other undesirables, but most namely to exterminate Black people, right? Most of us know about eugenics and all of that type of stuff. Now, it was a memo to the U.S. Population Council, okay? The memo was about selectivity and exclusivity in population control, basically meaning that within the population of people in the world, can you select or have exclusive groups within the population where you can monitor or you can lessen their population production, all right? Now, if we know Planned Parenthood was created to exterminate Black people, Who do you think they're talking about with that? Now, in listing the multitude of ways that this can be done, the third thing listed was to encourage an increase in homosexuality. All right. This was in the late 1960s, to encourage an increase in homosexuality. This was to help control certain parts of the population. Wink, wink. All right. Now, other things on that list have already come to pass. They had things on the list like make abortion non-medical. Okay, basically meaning that you don't have to have you don't have to go to a doctor, you don't have to have a prescription, right? This is what's called Plan B. It's non-medical. You can go into Walmart, all right, or Walgreens or whatever, and you can go to the dang on aisle, pick it up off the shelf and buy it. You don't have to see a doctor. You don't have to have a prescription. You don't have to do none of that. Okay. It had other things listed that have also come to pass already in terms of population control. So all I'm trying to get people to understand is, again, you don't have to accept what I say. You don't have to believe what I'm saying is right. But start doing your own research, look into these things, and you will see kind of like the trail, how connect the dots of how these things come together. But I'll pass the mic. I'll pass the mic.
Oh, no. You good. I was going to ask, is you ready to get on to the next topic? Because we done beat this one to death. So,
yes.
Yeah. We get into the controversy. A lot of people waiting for that. So, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So, you want to go ahead?
You can open up with it while I get the video ready. I actually got the video of the news report ready to go.
All right. Okay. Well, I think it was toward the end of last week. Basically, a story kind of broke on behalf of Zaza Ali, and that she basically people were saying scammed people out of money, or at the very least that she was deceptive behind. She was deceptive behind a retreat she was going to have in Sedona, Arizona for women. I think most namely Black women. And for those who don't know, most people know Zaza Ali. Most people became familiar with her from Professor Griff, from Serious Minds. And they had like their podcasts and things that they were doing back in the day that became super popular. And they ended up kind of going their separate ways or what have you. I've interviewed the sister before. I know the sister, what have you. And she was coming from a slant of Black power for a while. I think from more of a political position with Professor Griff, and I think even some after a while, a little bit afterwards. Now, she ended up going, I think, in a more spiritual direction, and being like into yoga and these types of things of that nature. Now, basically, a sister had came out, and I think SYKO's going to play the clip, but she basically spilled the beans, so to speak, on what took place. So he's going to play the clip for those who are unfamiliar. But let me just say real quickly that Tariq, back in like 14 or so, maybe 15 maybe, he brought out some information about her that I guess a lot of people did not know, that she was involved in a legal situation, where it was like some money being scammed or whatever. I think it was like 10 million. It was her, and then it was, I want to say like 20 or 30 other people. It was a lot of other people that were involved in this particular scheme. And I think she ended up having like probation and some things like that. I think she had to pay like restitution or whatever the case may be. So for that to have happened and put out there, and then now for this situation, a lot of people have a lot to say. So with that, I'm gonna throw the SYKO. I think he's gonna play it.
Okay, give me 1 second. Just mute your mic. All right. Let's see. All right. Here we go, family. Give me 1 second. Get out the way. All right, here we go.
All new at 11, meditation is not easing the minds of several people tonight. They paid thousands of dollars for an out-of-town retreat.
The organizer canceling the event and initially keeping the cash. Now, the victims contacting Better Call Harry for spiritual and financial healing.
Zaza Ali is an author, promotes healing and transformation.
Peace. How y'all doing? This is Zaza Ali.
Website gives a glimpse into her mind.
You know, my life goal, which is to raise the consciousness of this planet.
She's on YouTube talking about all kinds of stuff. And she travels the nation, speaking at events and retreats.
According to her Instagram page, she's a truth seeker.
Alicia Burrows heard Zaza speak, has been following her ever since.
For years, I've been following her, and I just, not necessarily agree with everything she says, but a lot of things that she says speaks to me.
Earlier this year, she signed up for this sold-out women's weekend retreat in Sedona, Arizona. Alicia booked the trip for her and her daughter. She paid $2,998, but one day before the trip, Alicia called from Zaza's assistant. The trip was canceled. Via email, Zaza claimed she'd been in an accident, but when we contacted the hotel, the sales director confirmed that they canceled the event 1 month earlier because they hadn't been paid.
That's the thing. You had 30 days to give us whatever story you were going to give us. You had 30 days to say, I'm not going to be able to do it. Something came up.
And her gut told her she wasn't alone. She's connected with 5 others who are also waiting for promised refunds. Hope Owens Henry paid $14.99.
I want to know why. Like, just why? I really don't want to know why. Just give me my money back.
By phone, Zaza told us she's dealing with financial issues. However,
At this point, you're thinking that all these people who are owed refunds are getting refunds?
Everybody's getting a refund. There's no question about that.
that night, Hope got a PayPal refund. Yay! And then it was declined.
Your email stated that you're waiting on vendors to pay you. What vendors?
Went to Zaza's business address to get answers, but it was just where she gets her mail. Then we went to her last known address. Know how most reporters bang on doors? Not this guy.
Why aren't you knocking? What are you doing?
I'm communicating. Maybe she can sense that I'm here.
The very next day, Alicia and Hope got refunds. And in a statement, Zaza says that as of Thursday, she's reimbursed everyone, totaling nearly $15,000.
Oh,
Together, we meditated. The refund in hand, Alicia's inner spirit is at peace. She considers herself an unlucky soul. In an email to Alicia, Zaza writes, "Now go tell that reporter and whoever else you ran your mouth to online." Late this afternoon, Zaza emailed me. She says the refunds were all processed within 60 days, a normal course of business, and she says that not one dime was paid because of our intervention. I'm Better Call Harry. The best way to reach me is email bettercallharry@cbs46.com.
There you go. You there, sis?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right.
I am here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of like I think
Yeah.
a delay or something.
Yeah, it was glitching up a little bit, but yeah. Well, you got anything you want to say on what you just saw?
Yeah, I will say that they did her dirt. They did her dirty as hell with that piece, man. Like, but she did them dirty as hell, not telling them the truth. And people had to wait until the damn day before to find out this whole thing was canceled. And then it hasn't been made clear to if she got in a car accident or not. But yeah, that comes off as a lie. The lie detector determined that is a lie. But so, like, it's a lot of dirt. It's dirt that she did. You feel me? Because I've seen people saying like, well, they didn't have to go to the white man. You know, why'd they go to the white man and this and that and things like of that nature. I see. Here's the thing. I don't necessarily agree or disagree with that. I really don't. And the reason being is because ultimately I disagree with it. But okay, I'm not gonna get into that whole thing. But she's not a black woman. Okay, but I disagree with it because I mean, look how they did. And it kind of helps to further like dirty the image of the so-called conscious community or so-called pro-black community, whether or not she's a part of it or considered a part of it or whatever. People associate it, okay? And so to me, that's the down part of it because then it looks like it just further helps to make people like myself and SYKO look bad, although we ain't taking nobody's damn money. We ain't taking a penny from nobody, although none of that, but people use that as a case against the pro-black movement. And although I know people are looking for any reason to put down the pro-black movement, it's still not a good look when you have people like her who people associate with that doing things like this. And so from that angle, you know, I don't think it's a good thing to go to the white man. You feel me? Like, even if this was a sister who did this to me, I feel like I wouldn't go to like a news station like that because I already know that they're going to misrepresent it. However, let me also say that I do understand that sometimes why people go to those type of things is because they're able to apply pressure and they're able to get results because nobody wants their name, their face, and everything blasted across the news where however many hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of course, of people may see the news story. Nobody wants that. I don't give a damn. So they're able to apply pressure on people because of that, where they can recoup the funds that they lost a lot of times, not all times. So I get the reason behind doing it. You know what I'm saying? But they made a fool. They made it to be a fool with that little news story and the whole like spiritual little music, like the Indian type music or whatever, you know. And
yeah, they was mocking it real good. And yeah, you know, I understand the whole don't go to the white man argument, you know, the whole Malcolm X thing and everything else, you know, don't run to the white man's media to blast our dirty laundry type of mentality and everything else. I get all that and this, that, and third, but I got a question. Do those two ladies, they said it in the news report, do those two ladies get their money back if they didn't go to that news reporter? Like, that's a real question. Do they get their money back? Because they didn't get their money back until they went to a reporter. Now, mind you, they could have went to the cops. They didn't go to the cops. You know, they went to a news reporter who might kick dirt on her name, but she's not going to get locked up for this. So, you know, it could have been worse than her running to the reporter. But, you know, she could have ran to the cops.
That's true.
So, you know, we got to remember that as well. You know, they just wanted their money back. And it seemed like they was going through the motions trying to get their money back without going to the quote unquote white man. And they was getting the runaround. You know, and it amazes me. What amazes me, though, I got to touch on this. What amazes me is the fact that Zaza is not getting nearly as much heat as she probably should. Because if this was somebody else other than Zaza, she would be getting ripped. She would be completely getting ripped apart. Now, mind you, there's some people out here ripping her. There's a couple of people out here ripping her, but it's a lot of apologists out here as well. A lot of apologists out here trying to make up excuses for her. And it's like, the way people try to cover up this bad behavior, these scammers, all this weirdo shit that be going on in this fucking community is fucking disgusting. Like, it's so many people enabling bad behavior around here. It's sickening. It's sickening. It's like motherfuckers see motherfuckers doing fucked up shit and they'll start making excuses for a motherfucker because they like them. Or they'll start making excuses for a motherfucker because they're the same gender as them. Or they'll start making excuses for motherfuckers because, I don't know, just for whatever silly ass fucking reason, right? They just start making up bad excuses for these motherfuckers. And it's like, in Zaza's case, if she was polite, she wouldn't get nearly as much support. But I see a lot of people defending her.
More than one way. Yep.
What you say?
No, you know what? I'm just saying this real quick. I'm sorry. When you said if she was polite, first I thought you were saying like polite. Because she was rude as hell in how she dealt with the people. I realized that's what you were saying. But if she had been polite to those women, they may not have went to the news thing too. So, you know, yeah.
Yeah, but you know, like this whole thing, like, you know, it just fucks me up. And it's like, people gotta stop with this apologetic bullshit and everything else, and they stop treating like, listen, a scammer is a fucking scammer. If y'all banging on Polite, y'all need to be banging on Zaza. If you was giving Polite a pass, you need to give Zaza a pass. Y'all gonna have to start being consistent around here. Y'all gonna have to stop with this little bullshit ass selective outrage that all you motherfuckers seem to have. And you know what's also funny? I gotta mention this. You know, I mentioned this earlier in the chat over a New Possibilities joint. I noticed Radical, shout out to Radical, she's in the live chat. She mentioned it earlier in her live stream. But I gotta mention this because it's real. How dare some of these individuals on YouTube who criticize the fuck out of me, try to clown me for calling out bad behavior and making videos and streams about motherfuckers and their bad behavior, calling out their talking points and all this other shit, this, that, and third, calling out the scammers, because I have called out the scammers as well. As Polite, he'll tell you. I have called out from the men and the women. I have called out bad behavior around here. And I have gotten attacked for doing so. I called out Phil from the Advice Show for him with his little fraudulent bullshit, acting like he's promoting black families when he ain't even got one. Told motherfuckers this shit years ago. Motherfuckers wanted receipts and all this whole other shit, everything else. Then it come to find out they got their receipts years later. So then I look like Negro Dominus, but it don't motherfucking matter. It's like, you know, whatever. But I call this shit out. The content mafia attacks me. I call out other people's bad behavior for trying to start up all these little stupid ass gender wars. I get attacked for that. You know, now I shouldn't say nothing to women. So it's like, okay, I call out the dude, I get attacked. I shouldn't say nothing because he's a black man and we supposed to be on code. I call out the female, oh, you're not supposed to say nothing to her because you're a man and men ain't supposed to address women. So no matter who the fuck I'm addressing, all I keep doing is getting fucking harassed and attacked for doing so. But then when this shit goes down, I see the same motherfuckers who was calling me out on top of their shit, on their grind, doing the exact same thing they accused me of doing. Calling out fraudulent, bad behavior. But when they did it, it's cool, right? You know, when I do it, it's a crime. When they do it, it's fine. Do as I say, not as I do, as motherfucking Negroes. That's what we got around here. This is just facts. I had to point that out. Sorry, it's just the truth. Because I had to trip on that. I was tripping. Motherfuckers telling me they not gonna ever make videos about motherfuckers and everything else. Here we go. Here we go. I told motherfuckers, oh really? Give me some time. That didn't take long at all. I'm just saying. When other motherfuckers do it, it's cool. Other motherfuckers do it about y'all, it's a problem. Stop hating on the players and hate the game. If you're playing the game, you can't hate on the players. I'm just saying. I'll pass the mic. I just had to get that out because I was zoning off that hypocrisy. That was hypocrisy. All right, I'm done.
Yeah, that's real. You know, people have a problem with people making videos until they want to make a video. Then it's like, it should be cool. Yeah, because like with the whole Phil thing, I understand, like, you know, it can be argued if Phil's fraudulent, his frauding the community, if you will, if that's considered, or if that's connected to economics as well, because people were giving him money. People were a part of his Patreon or part of other things that perhaps they wouldn't have been a part of had they known he had a non-Black wife who has a white wife, a Native American, whatever. She's not a Black woman. But the thing is, like, here's the thing. This is the problem I feel that's being had. Is like, here's how to not fraud people. Is to not promise something you don't have. To not promise something you can't do or you haven't been able to do. And the thing I feel like, because a lot of Black people are economically deprived. Now, let me not say this is not the case for everybody, okay? Some people do stuff intentionally to defraud people. Like, some people do it intentionally. But sometimes I think what happens is people bite off more than they can chew. And so they try to do these things to make themselves look bigger than they are, or whatever the case may be. And then they set up all of these type of things. And in actuality, they don't have the money to do it. They don't have the funds. They don't have the resources to do it. And to me, if you're going to do something like put together a retreat, you should already have the money up front to pay for all of these things. And the people whose money you're getting for this event, it should go directly into a bank account or a fund that you cannot touch, or that you will not touch until the event happens. That way, if something goes wrong, you're able to give those people their money back directly. You can't rob Peter to pay Paul and think you're going to be able to pull off this kind of stuff. And then, hey, just let the chips fall where they may. These are people's hard-earned, it's like some feedback. These are people's hard-earned money. You feel me? This is people, and I saw one of the women who was breaking it down, and I think she said, what the lady on there was saying too, like it was like installment payments. So a lot of these people were paying over periods of time. They didn't have no money in no one lump sum to just go ahead and pay for this trip. So they were taking money every month out of their household to put into this trip because this is something they wanted to do and participate in. Okay? And then you turn your back on these people and you wait till literally the last minute to do so when you knew a month ahead of time. That's pure deception. Now, some people were saying, well, see, people should have waited. People should have waited a while to see because people end up getting their money back. Based on what, though? Was that based on, like SYKO said, because of the news story? People were able to start getting their money back? Because if she was so set on people getting their money back, she would have been and did that when she knew a month ago the hotel canceled. So that shows that she was intentionally being deceptive, and then all of a sudden she's in a car accident. All of a sudden, oh, it's not life or death, but she's messed up pretty bad. She's out of it. Oh, she's out of it? Just like these people out of their money, huh? Okay. Yeah, all right. And that's the first thing I would think when I heard something like the day before somebody's in a car accident. Wait a minute. Whoa, 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 whoa. What do that have to do with the situation? Shouldn't I still be able to fly out and go to my hotel and do all this? I paid for it. If she is in an accident, that's awful. If that's the case, but that seems mighty fishy. At the last minute, that's what happens. So it's like playing people for a fool. It's people trying to save face. It's people trying to rob Peter to pay Paul. It's people trying to hustle backwards. It's people trying to do a whole bunch of stuff that they don't have no business doing. If you don't have the money to put these type of large-scale events on, don't do it. Don't be doing this based upon the money these people are supposed to give you. Because again, if something goes wrong, you're going to be left holding the bag. And you was trying to make these women leave these sisters holding the bag. Then there's this other thing too that I want to be clear on. I get tired, and this is something we're talking about a lot, but I get tired of people using any and everything as a means of attacking Black people in general. All right. This is not Black people in general. This is not all Black business people. This is not all Black folk who decide to do retreats. It's not. This is what this woman did. Make it what she did. Don't talk about no all Black people, all Black business. We do each other dirty. Get the hell out of here with that. Get the hell out of here with that. Because there's plenty of Black folk who operate on the up and up, but people don't glorify them. You're not gonna hear about that. You're gonna hear about everybody who didn't do that. And that's another way for us to put our whole community down and throw our community under the bus and throw real Black business people under the bus based on this bull crap. Now, we have to be honest. We have to be forthcoming about this type of thing, because we can't just let stuff ride because the person's Black. Well, y'all know how I feel about that. But a lot of people consider the person to be Black. All right. We can't just let stuff ride and just let it be just because of the hell no. And like SYKO said, a lot of people gave Polite and these other people way more hell. It doesn't matter if it was 14,000 she took and Polite got 17,000 from the one brother and then 40,000, whatever. You still taking people's hard-earned money. They still putting towards something, a service or an event that they're expecting to be a part of that you didn't provide. It's a scam, and people need to call it as such. I would be less inclined to call this a scam if she had been and told the people after she knew the hotel canceled. I would be less inclined to call it a scam had she just went ahead and refunded the money. Had she not came up with this thing, she was in an accident. So yeah, that's what I just want to say about that. Black people, continue supporting Black people. Continue supporting. I mean, ask people for references on people, or ask one of the best ways is word of mouth. And if somebody has had a good, past business dealings with others, support that Black person. But at the same time, don't feel like you can't speak out about being scammed just because the person is Black. Don't feel like you have to hold up that lie and just let it go. Because I heard a lot of people say that before about Polite and other people that, well, I just let it go. You know what I'm saying? That's not the way to do it, because that person continues to go on and scam other people because nobody's really calling them out. So yeah, it's just interesting to see how it's just interesting. It's just interesting. Like I said, and going back to what Tariq brought out and things like that. And he's a fool, man. He talked about it on his stream Sunday. And he said, He was like, I gotta show y'all something interesting. And he plays a little news clip or whatever. And he was like, damn. He was like, she gonna hit a lick either way. He was like, she gonna get some money either way. Because you know that other situation or whatever. But yeah, stop saying all black people scam, all black businesses scam. No, they don't.
Facts.
Look at these people. Make sure, and here's the other thing. Make sure it's a real refund policy. Don't get with nothing that can't offer you no refund of your money. Especially when you're talking about substantial amounts of money. Hundreds of dollars. Don't get aligned with anything that doesn't have a firm refund policy that you can verify. All right. Don't align with these different retreats and stuff that you cannot verify. Okay. It's cool to get a benefit of the doubt, but honey, money, that's a whole different thing. So yeah, and I don't want nobody's money. That's why I don't even really like dealing with that. You feel me? If somebody's gonna give some money, let it be them donating to you because they want to donate to support you.
Exactly.
Like, I don't even like getting involved in stuff with people's money because it just gets messy. And then people will tend to believe anytime somebody say they've been scammed. Well, they said Renee and SYKO, they were scamming people for money.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, where? Oh, where did that happen? But people will take it and run with it. But yeah, that's pretty much all.
Somebody, unless you promise them some goods for their return, and they didn't get the goods. They didn't receive the goods that was promised to them when the money.
Right.
Now, if you getting donation money, a donation is different than actual purchase. These are people that are purchasing things. Mm-hmm. You know, there's a big difference between donation. Somebody donating to you, and somebody just showing support to your channel.
Exactly.
You know, some people do Patreon, some people promise exclusive content over there, and this, that, and third. You know, the little perks that come with Patreon. That's different than opposed to, you know, I'm up here setting up this wild ass fucking vacation at some resort. But we gonna meditate for 5 days. And, and this, that, like, I don't know why you need to pay thousands of dollars.
She meditate on their money.
Thousands of dollars to do some fucking meditation. Are you motherfucking serious? To sit here and woosah? You paying thousands of dollars to go woosah with Zaza Ali at some fucking resort? Shit, man. Listen, I'll charge you a couple $100. We can go. We can go do some stretches we can go do some stretches out in the fucking park.
Look, we can smoke this weed and elevate your mind.
We get word up. We can smoke this shit in one of those hookahs. We get one of those hookahs. We put some bud up there. We can smoke it in the park and do some stretches and some yoga. I'll hook you up for a couple of $100. I'm way cheaper than Zaza.
That cheap.
I'm way cheaper than Zaza. Yeah, I'm way cheap. Holla at your man. Holla at your boy. I'll hook you up. Real talk. I ain't playing no games.
They gonna be like SYKO selling weed packages on YouTube. Weed retreat packages. Oh man.
I'll hook you up. You know what I'm saying? For a couple of $100. Shit, I'm in the raw fucking business.
Okay.
She getting thousands to woosah with people at a resort that they pay for. Ultimately they pay for this shit. So it's like it's amazing.
She just getting a cheaper deal because it's a group of people.
Fact.
You feel me? And
by the time she takes off her little bread off the top, her shit is paid for. They pay for her shit. You know what I'm saying? It's all a hustle, man. This shit is a hustle. Yep. This shit is a hustle. All these little resorts, these motherfuckers be like, yo, we gonna go on this little resort, this little wine. We gonna go to this little wine resort. We gonna sip wine for 3 days and get drunk to the motherfucker. Don't find no motherfucking pink dick that we keep chasing around all day long. We ain't gonna find none of it.
She need to holler at the people. She need to holler at the people who did the pink pill retreat, honey. Because I guess they had their stuff popping.
Man, that shit's a money maker. That shit is a money maker.
Yep.
Every time, like I'm telling you, that shit, they are making money off these. You women, you women have got to pay attention to the hustle. Y'all are being hustled by these women up on there. Pay attention.
Oh, these men be hustling. Nah, these men be getting hustled all the time too.
They do
the
too.
Men been dropping Bitcoin too.
But when the difference is when the women do it, they hustle. They will paint this picture that don't trust men. Men are the evil oppressors. They're the ones who's ruining your life. Everything else. It's the sisterhood. It's the sisterhood. Come donate your money over here. Come over here to these resorts where we could go have these little 5-day vacations and all this whole other shit and everything else. And they ain't doing nothing but hustling these motherfuckers out of their fucking money. And they use it. They doing it on the strength of the quote unquote sisterhood. Like when brothers scare motherfuckers like Polite don't base his shit off gender. Polite will scam the shit out of a girl, a brother. They don't care. Like he's not.
A lot of black men supported him because he was a black man, though, and they wanted to get put that money with a brother. That's why brother. Yes, but specifically, the brother who with the 17,500. He wanted to work with Polite because he said he was a black brother. He wanted to spend his money with a brother. And that's why he aligned with Polite.
But Polite didn't paint the sisters as being the enemy. Matter of fact, Polite promotes the sisters as being the
I'm not saying he did. I'm just saying he wanted to rock them with that.
That's what I was saying what the difference is. That's what I was saying. The difference is this whole, they was promoting the whole sisterhood thing. Like, it's about the sisterhood, these guys, fuck the guys. It's about us, the sisterhood, and everything, this, that, and third.
I don't think she said nothing about F the guys, because there was even a guy that was going to black man there that was going to be leading some of the things. She didn't say, maybe the Crystal and Kerrigan chick, I don't know, but I don't think she came from a place. Zaza didn't say nothing about F. That's one thing I do know about her. She didn't say anything about F.
I can't say that about Zaza. Yeah, I can't say that about Zaza, but Christian definitely did. Yeah, she definitely did. Yeah. But that whole resort shit is that shit is a hustle. And I ain't gonna knock Christian too much because at least Christian Kerrigan provided what she promised with her resort.
Yeah.
She did, as much of a hustle it was, she didn't deliver on what she promised, right? So I can't say she scammed these women. It's just a hustle. I ain't gonna knock the hustle. Now, Zaza, on the other hand, she sounded like she was doing some scamming. This I can't. This sounds like some straight pure scamming going on with her. Like this is a little bit different scenario. Like again, Christian, she at least gave what she promised. So you can't really knock her for that. She promised this, and that's what she delivered. Zaza did not deliver. That's the problem.
Right.
That's the problem. Yeah. I don't want to get too far off course, and let's remember what's going on here. Zaza actually was scamming. That's the initial problem. And another problem I have with this whole situation is this whole mindset, right? It's funny. As an atheist, right? I'm not about to kill religion, y'all. Y'all can calm down. I'm not about to kill religion. I just gotta throw this analogy out here because it applies. As an atheist, right? I'll sit up here and we'll have these discussions, and they'll always start throwing these little people at me. These former atheists that did horrible things in the past. They'll mention like Stalin and Mayo and stuff like that. There are people that just did a lot of killing in the past that would happen to be atheists, right? They'll and then they'll try to throw Hitler at me, right? Now, Hitler was a Catholic, right? Hitler was a Catholic, and a lot of people, Catholic falls under Christianity. Christians will argue down that they're not Christians, but it still falls under the umbrella of Christianity, whether people call them Christians or not. And I will throw out the fact that, no, I'm not claiming Hitler. Hitler wasn't an atheist. Hitler actually believed in God.
Mm-hmm.
And Christians will always tell me, no, no, no. Hitler was not a real Christian. Real Christians don't do this. They'll hit me with the no true Scotsman's fallacy, right? Like, this person is not a real Christian. That person is not, he's not a real Christian. We hear this from Christians all the time. You are not a real Christian. You are not a real Christian. That person ain't a real Christian. That person, everybody always hits you with that, right? They be like, you're not a real Christian. You're not, even though that person who they saying ain't a real Christian, believes in the Bible, believes God is real, believes in Adam and Eve, don't support the gay movement, all this other stuff, but maybe this person don't go to church like that. Or maybe this person does something else. Maybe this person drinks or smokes or something like that. Something little minuscule stuff like that or whatever. And then, here come the judgmental Christians wagging their finger in their Bible saying, that's not Christian, like you're not a real Christian, right? They will hit this person, this same person, even though they file the Bible to the core with everything, but they drink and smoke, so therefore they're not a real Christian, right? This logic makes sense to them. But these same people with that logic, I'm saying this for a reason, walk with me, family. These same people with that logic will turn around and argue with me when I tell them that person ain't really pro-black.
Yep.
I will tell these motherfuckers, like, they will take certain individuals who will come on YouTube and openly tell people that they are not pro-black. They will openly tell motherfuckers, I'm not pro-black. I don't subscribe to the whole pro-black thing. The whole pro-black thing is silly. I don't do pro-black. I don't call myself pro-black. They will tell motherfuckers this, right? Motherfuckers will turn around a week later, make videos begging on pro-blacks, and then turn around and use all these same names who just said that they don't identify as pro-black. I will tell these motherfuckers, yo, stop throwing them in the pro-black bag. I'm not defending them. I'm not repping them. They openly said they not pro-black. They are not pro-black. These same motherfuckers who will argue me down about who is and who isn't a fucking Christian will tell me that person is pro-black. I don't give a fuck what you say. I don't give a fuck what they say. They are pro-black. They will tell you that they are pro-black. They will argue you down, even though the person telling you they not pro-black. But they will tell the Christian who's saying that they Christian that they're not a real Christian. Like, these people's logic and mindset is completely fucked up. I just had to throw that out there. I'm sorry. I just went on a tirade, but this whole logic that one bad
that's really
this whole logic that one bad pro-black motherfucker fucks it up for everybody is also asinine. It's also asinine because just like I said, you find one bad pastor in a fucking church, I don't see near none of you motherfuckers dropping the Bible because of it. You find these fucking popes running around here molesting all these kids, following the Bible. I don't see near none of you motherfuckers dropping it. But when a pro-black does something stupid and scam somebody or some shit like that, y'all ready to announce all that shit. So you motherfuckers are very hypocritical, judgmental, arrogant ass son of bitches. I just thought I'd tell y'all sons of bitches that. Real talk. I'll pass the mic. Go ahead, Renee.
Okay. You are, man, that is so real. Oh, man. That point, like, that was beyond on point. That's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened. The same people who will tell us that, you know what I'm saying? Oh, they ain't real such and such Christians or whatever the case may be. But these people are though, right? Like you said, even when they say they not pro-black, that's my thing. Like even if you want to say, well, y'all ain't claiming them, but we saying they pro-black. But the people will tell you they're not pro-black. The people will tell you I'm not a part of the conscious community. The people will tell you I'm not down with that. And they still want to try to put them in a particular category. Been standing over here for quite a minute. We are B1, we are Black first. I do recognize that the conscious community has like a very like, it has a stigma, you know, attached to it. It has a lot of like negative energy attached to it. I choose not to see it that way. However, sometimes I will reference it that way. But the thing, nobody owns pro-Blackness. Nobody owns the conscious community, and nobody owns being Black first. What I mean by that is a particular person will say polite, okay? Polite does not own pro-Blackness. Polite does not own the conscious community. That means that maybe he's a part of it, but he is one of many who are a part of it. Therefore, you don't get to make him the end all be all for the conscious community. Therefore, if he's scammed, you don't get to do that like that. And like SYKO was pointing out, people will feel that way when it comes to everything else, when it comes to religion and things like that. But when it comes to the Black community or the pro-Black community, all the scamming allegations. Where's Umar's school? I don't know, ask Umar. Do it look like I'm Umar? Do it look like I have the money for the school? No. So why should I be held accountable for that? In essence, why should that be brought up to me when people are trying to put down the conscious or pro-Black community? Because Umar got this money and it ain't no school yet. Okay, and what do you want me to do about it? You know, and then I heard somebody before was talking about like, they were trying to like let Polite off the hook because people aren't asking Umar where the money is. What? First of all, people are asking Umar where the money is, where's the school. People been on that man's neck for a long time. It's like, it's just this weird thing. And mind you, the people who were saying this were people in the conscious community. I ain't gonna say no names right now. But they were saying this nonsense. People shouldn't be worried about Polite. They ain't even asking about Umar. What? This whole thing is just crazy as hell. It's just shifted. So that's why we kind of keep our circle small and stuff like that. And we only are responsible for what we do and we say. You know, I'm Black first, point blank, period. I'm not ashamed if people say I'm in the conscious community or the pro-Black community. Yeah, what's up? That's what's up. But that doesn't mean that other people speak for me. Okay, that still means that I speak for myself. And I'm not going to be judged by somebody else because they, quote, scam some people. They don't have nothing to do with me. And whenever people want to find a way to like try to poke holes in your argument, it could be about something completely different. They'll bring that up. Like I've gotten into back and forth with people about different stuff. That's why y'all whole community scamming. What? What do they have to do with the price of tea in China or with me? First of all, my whole community is not scamming. I ain't scammed. So, I mean, it just becomes a point. It just becomes a point where it's ridiculous. And I don't know, it's just a lot going on. My whole thing is just, I think the Zaza thing, it's a bad look. It's a bad look. It's a bad look on everybody, but y'all, we can't fall into those same traps. Don't let that deter you from the pro-Black community. Don't let that deter you from B1. Don't let that deter you from the conscious community. Don't let that deter you from understanding about who you are and where you came from. Don't let that deter you from none of that. Put that in the category where it belongs and keep it pushing. Period.
Another thing I want to address.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing the Swirl Nation was accusing me of earlier today, actually accusing pro-blacks of, not just me, but pro-blacks in general, of accepting the one drop rule. And I had to say, well, who are you talking about? Because again, most of the people that they probably talking about aren't pro-black, because they got a broad ass term of what pro-black. Like they probably, most of these people y'all talking about are probably these motherfuckers who I'm talking about, who sit up here and talk pro-black, but is not pro-black. I'm not accepting them motherfuckers. So, but of course they talking about Phil and some of these motherfuckers who supported Phil and all these. I'm like, them motherfuckers ain't pro-black though. Like listen, if you pro-black, you are not anybody who supports the one drop rule or swirling in general. You cannot be pro-black. That is just that is like one pro-black 101. Like you cannot be pro-black. This is why this is the main reason why people have a problem with being calling themselves pro-black. Talking about there's so much pressure and everything else being pro-black. It's too much pressure. This shit is it's too much pressure. What's the pressure? I always ask these motherfuckers, what's the pressure? What pressure? Because let's stop playing games, because it really ain't no real pressure in it. Outside the fact that you need to motherfucking deal with your own kind. Outside the fact that you need to deal with your own kind, that's the only pressure, because you ain't really trying to deal with just your own kind. You don't want to just deal with your own kind. You want to deal with everybody, which means how can you be pro-black at that point? If you want to deal with everybody, is it possible to be pro-black? How is that possible? You cannot serve 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 masters. You can't do it. You can't. Motherfuckers cannot make sense out of that for me. And the only motherfuckers who tend to make sense out of that is the one droppers. But again, one droppers are not pro-black to me. They're not. Yes, I'm going to pull the no true pro-black men's fucking fallacy. I'm going to pull the same fallacy you fucking always pull on me with your Christian mindsets, where y'all turn around and tell me everybody ain't a real fucking Christian. Oh, well, I get to do that with pro-black. I get to dictate who the fuck is pro-black. If you can dictate who the hell is a Christian, I can dictate who the hell is pro-black. I don't give a fuck what they saying. It's about the fruits of their work. Ain't that what you Christians always tell me? It ain't about whether or not they say they're a Christian. It's about the fruits of their work. Well, you got to show me the fruits of these motherfuckers' work. If they fruit is motherfucking coming out a different motherfucking with different type of, like if an orange is coming out making apples, then that motherfucker ain't pro-orange. He is not pro-Florida. That motherfucker is something else. All right, let's get that shit together. All right, y'all motherfuckers, we gonna stop playing. We gonna stop playing. That's the pressure. That's the shit that people have a problem with identifying pro-black. When you hear motherfuckers say, "Well, I don't like this pro-black stuff, man. I don't really get down with the whole pro-black stuff, everything else." All the motherfuckers are swirlers or potential swirlers. Every last one of them. Every single last one of them is all about opening up their options. All of them. Yeah. All of them. Every last, and that's the only reason why they say they're not pro-black. That is the only reason. And I wish they'll stop playing games and just say it. Say, I don't like being pro-black because I want to fuck other people. But that's ultimately what the fuck they're saying. Because you have no other reason not to be for your people.
I would respect that more.
True.
I actually will respect that more if people actually just said that.
Right.
They said, I'm not don't want to be seen as pro-black because I want to have sex with different races. Or because I want to get with different races or may want to get with different races. I would have more respect for that because at least they being honest, keeping it a buck so we know to put you over here. Versus somebody like Phil who allowed himself to be considered something that he wasn't. He allowed himself to be considered that, and he knew it. He knew it. These people know what it is. And like you said, what is so hard? I don't know what's so difficult about it. What's hard about being pro-black? What's hard about being B1? Like, why is that difficult? I don't get it. It would only be difficult for me if I wanted Brad. If I wanted Brad, I was trying to holler at Brad, or I was open to Brad. And, you know, I thought he was so cute with his blonde hair and blue eyes. Then, yeah, I probably would have a problem with being B1. I probably would be against being pro-black. Yeah. In that case, yes. So, yeah. But anyway,
Yeah,
you there, Psycho? Oh.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay.
I'm here. You got anything else you wanted to add? Or you sound like you about done for the night. You done?
I am a weak man. I went in that whole thing with the gay thing. You know what? It ended up kind of breaking it up into 2 shows based on the topic. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'll probably label this one as Zaza and the other one just keep the LBGT because that one was we didn't want the other one, yeah. But anyway.
Yeah. It kind of worked out that way. But I do want to say this to everybody listening, like all our fam out there, like our core, we got like a core 25. And of course everybody is listening, but our core 25, like I miss y'all. I miss the game night. Me and Suave was saying this the other day. Shout out to Suave Boss.
Yeah.
Shout out to Nikki Justice. Shout out to Muchacha. Shout out to Back to Love. Shout out to King Hebrew, who played with us before. Shout out to some other, of course, Do the Knowledge, and other people who came through and played, other people who came through and listened, what have you. Like, I missed the game night, so we're gonna do something soon with that. Hopefully, some type of maybe reunion, if you will. But yeah, other than that, yeah, just love y'all. Thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for supporting and hanging in there. We know like SYKO's channel is like shadow banned, and his channel is
the main channel is this one's good. This one.
Oh, okay, you think so?
Now.
Yeah, for now, because yeah, that's all I can say. Because honey, but they still don't really promote this channel. You know what I'm saying? They still kind of keep it on the low to a degree. And we know why that is or whatever. But yeah, other than that, love y'all. Thank y'all. Thank you, SYKO, as per usual. You know, my partner in crime.
Always.
And yeah, so yeah, y'all, that's it.
All right. Yeah, family. I appreciate everybody out there for coming through. Like Renee said, thanks to all the supporters out there, everybody that supports the channel. I appreciate all y'all. Do me a favor out there. If you click like on the first show, you probably have to click it again because it's got broken up to 2 shows. But do me a favor, please click like, share, and subscribe. You know what I mean? Please do that for your brother. And if you do subscribe out there, family, please do me a favor and click the notification bell so you can be notified whenever we do go live. I plan on going live again before Saturday. So yeah, please click the notification bell. And for my haters out there, y'all already know what it is. Have at it. Now's a good time if you haven't already. Please do me a favor, haters. Please click dislike. Still share this motherfucker. Let everybody know what you hating on out here. Let everybody know who's pissing you off. And then unsubscribe. You know what I mean? Because, yeah, it's at the end of the day, if you're clicking dislike on this motherfucker, you probably ain't on none of these. If you ain't on none of these, this probably ain't the spot for you because you're going to be getting up in your feelings a lot. I'm just saying. Yeah, and also for my supporters, if anybody's interested, I'm also on Patreon. If you enjoyed this content, you will enjoy the exclusive content over there as well. please consider coming to Patreon. I have no limits on there. You know, I think it's like a $2 minimum or something like that. Donate whatever you feel like the show is worth. I appreciate any donations that's given. Also, I'm on Twitter and the Gram family at SYKOPATHeist, spelt the same way as the channel. All the links will be in the description, so you can find them there. Also, family, if you're looking for any graphics, artwork, designs, or logos, please hit up our sister Renee at Renee Black Graphics on Facebook. That link will also be in the description. Serious replies only. Please, serious replies only. No small talking, none of that other stuff, whatever. You will get ignored. I'm just saying. And yeah. Also, family, like I said, we plan on going live again before Saturday, but just in case we don't, please make sure you check us out on Saturdays. It is our doubleheader days. I know it's been only a single game lately, but we're going to get it back to the doubleheader thing again, and we're going to bring in the game nights. Our schedule's just been a little off and everything else, but I think we should be good this weekend, I think. So, yeah, we should be back with the game nights again on Saturdays. We go start off early to Wake and Bakes, then we get into the game night later on. So, yeah, please consider checking us out on Saturdays. And, yeah, once again, shout out to everybody out there listening, the entire family. Shout out to the live chat. I want to give everybody out there, once again, a peace and black power. Holla black at your boy and your girl. We out.